Well, good morning. I want to talk to you a little bit today about the benefits of sleep. February is Sleep Awareness Month. So I wanted to kind of go through a few things. I've written lots in the past on insomnia and ways to treat sleep disorders. Today I want to talk about, I have been reading a book recently called Why We Sleep. It is written by Matthew Walker, PhD. Great insight into the power of sleep and kind of, I think, the misunderstood nature of sleep and what benefits and hazards lack of sleep can bring to us. So often people come to the clinic and they talk about they have trouble with sleep or energy, fatigue, they have mood disorders. When you start looking at sleep patterns, you realize that for the vast majority of people, sleep patterns are greatly disrupted. We are not sleeping as much as human beings as we probably should. And there's a lot of things that can trigger. Some of the major benefits I took away from reading this book were the benefits of immune function. You know, in the past we say sleep, what does that have to do with anything? Well, actually it shows there's a great deal of actual biochemical and immunologic relationship between sleep and better health. For instance, they actually show that with greater sleep, you get sick less often. Your immune function works better. So, you know, if you're getting sick more often, if you're run down or fatigued, maybe if you have a mood disorder, there's also evidence that mood disorders are markedly improved by a better sleep. So perhaps as physicians, maybe we should be writing prescriptions for sleep more often instead of sleep pills. So let's talk about a few things that are kind of, we know from research what happens to people that have less than 6 to 7 hours of sleep for a long period of their lives. First thing is massive increase in risk of Alzheimer's disease. Nobody wants that. Everybody kind of lives with that in the back of their mind, like, I don't want to have dementia. I don't want to have, you know, impaired memory function as I get older to the point where my family has to take care of me. Well, gee, sleeping less than 6 to 7 hours on average over a long period of time makes you much higher risk of that. That's what the research shows. It also doubles your risk of cancer. Remember we talked briefly about at the intro about immune function. Well, the immune system is how we fight off abnormal cells. So if your immune function is chronically suppressed, doesn't it stand to reason that you would have maybe a higher chance of cancer? And that's exactly what the research shows. It also disrupts blood sugar. You know, I do a lot of work with patients on type 2 diabetes in my private clinic, and got whole programs written around that. But the point is that we've shown it with sleep deprivation, people's average blood sugar is in the pre-diabetic range. So this is, okay, lack of sleep can raise blood sugar levels into what we would consider the pre-diabetic range. So this means that if you weren't a diabetic, that would be a bad thing. And if you were a diabetic, it could explain why perhaps your sugars don't go all the way they should. Maybe you're dieting properly, you're eating, you're exercising, but you still have this, you know, maybe this roadblock in your blood sugars. Part of that could be because you don't sleep properly. So those are a couple things there. Another risk of heart disease. Okay, this is one of the leading causes of death in the America, at least, and becoming worldwide. Heart disease is a huge problem, and there's a lot of complex reasons why it occurs. It isn't as simple as high blood pressure and high cholesterol, that's for sure. It's about inflammation. Inflammation has to do with your immune system. The immune system is suppressed or malfunctions with sleep deprivation. See how this all ties together. One other interesting thing I saw was the desire to eat goes up when you're sleep deprived. So I didn't 100% put that together in my own clinical experience, but I thought that was interesting that the increase in desire to eat goes up with sleep deprivation. So for one other thing, you know, I'm always talking fitness, lifestyle, human performance. For my athletes out there, if you're looking to, we're not talking disease anymore, we're talking about just like better performance. Well, better performance comes from sleep. Some of the best athletes in the world sleep in excess of 12 hours a day. It's necessary for recovery, reaction times, reflexes, cognition, that means thinking, and strength. All of those things have been tied to better physical performance when sleep is of high quality, or certainly better than 6 to 7 hours a night. So if you're trying to improve your performance, burning your candle at both ends, averaging less than 6 hours of sleep a night is probably in the long run going to hurt performance. I've written extensively on ways to treat insomnia. I think there's a 3-part series. So if you look inside the NRG tribe and just type under insomnia or under sleep, that topic will come up. If you're struggling with this, you should address it. Don't ignore this. This is something that I've listed off basically every major disease process, from heart disease to cancer and Alzheimer's. I've talked about how human performance is impaired if you're an athlete trying to improve your performance by lack of sleep. This is terribly important. It's a tool. It's not a waste of time to sleep. And sleep is absolutely necessary for proper health. So I hope that makes sense. And I'm kind of thinking maybe doctors out there should prescribe more sleep. I know I'm going to do that. I'm going to prescribe more sleep. I've done that in the past, and I don't have a good feel for how much of a difference that made for people just yet. But the research seems to be on the side of saying, look, let's don't ignore sleep. We should be asking about it. It's almost like a vital sign, I think. If you're not sleeping well, that should tell us something. So again, I hope this brief post is helpful for those of you out there. Certainly in the comment section, you're welcome to leave a comment, give me some feedback, and ask questions, and I'll certainly be happy to help you out. And turn off those phones, turn off those TVs at night. Plan on sleeping an extra hour of sleep a day for, say, the next 2 weeks, and see what that does for you. I hope this helps. Take care.